This is our project using zip level population data to predict food truck success in Chicago. My name is Shane Riley.
I'm Willa Countryman.
I'm Avery Tritz. So the abstract of our project was the purpose of the study was to determine the best place to open a food truck in Chicago by creating a predictive model formed from nationwide demographic data. The model was trained on data from over 200 US zips. Our random forest classification model identified bike commuters, millennials, density, and more as predictors of success, and consistently predicts the loop as the most viable area for food trucks in Chicago. Blowout Jamaican Cuisine is a local Rogers Park business planning to open a food truck in summer 2022. Location is very important for food trucks. With our research, we wanted to determine what factors predict an area's viability for food truck success and which areas in Chicago may be the best for food trucks in order to inform Blowow's business strategy.
And we decided to do this by creating basically a predictive model, which we wanted to use to predict which areas in Chicago would be the most best for like a food truck business for anyone that's starting out. So we got training data from Simply Analytics, which is basically just an online database that Loyola students have access to, which has just a lot of different population information. We downloaded data from over 1,600 US zip codes, and including all of the zip codes in the Chicago area. And our variables that we collected covered information on income, housing, transportation, average age, education levels, the culture, and more. So, and we established a target variable for our data based on the number of food truck establishments in each area and their average payroll, so how much they're paying their employees. So we figured that this would be like a good enough proxy for an area's food truck market to success to use as kind of what we want to predict for our model. So our target variable ranged from 0 to 100, with higher values representing a strong food truck market. Our highest value was actually in Texas, was a value of 100, and the lower ones were in the 0 to 10 range. So the zip label data was analyzed in SPSS Modeler. We tested a bunch of different classification models like decision trees and support vector machines. And a lot of them were not actually super accurate. We believe this was because of overtraining on the low target level data. Because we had downloaded so many data on so many zip codes, over 1,600, a lot of the data we had was on zip codes that were really small towns with not really much food truck market anyway. So we believe that the model was kind of overfitting to this data. And so it started to only predict low values, which led to a low level of accuracy. So we actually had to use this process called downsampling, which basically reduces the size of the training data set to kind of better fit the model to what we're trying to do with our data. So we actually reduced the size of the data to around 200 records. And this really improved the accuracy of the data, as now the model wasn't only seeing these low values, and it was able to kind of create a more accurate prediction and actually predict higher values. So even though we were able to do this kind of methodology that made it a little bit easier for the model to process all the data, we still weren't getting super consistent results. They weren't very accurate, and they were very different every time. So we decided to use the random forest classification algorithm because it uses this technique called bagging, which basically reduces the variation in the model results by taking an average of a bunch of decision trees results rather than just a single run of a model. So it takes kind of a consensus vote, which can lead to higher accuracy and consistency in the results. So when we use this model, we actually achieved over 99% accuracy in predicting the target variable in US zip codes. And we tested other models like C 5.0 and SVM, like I mentioned, but these all had inferior results. So once we discovered that the random forest model achieved reliable accuracy with the US zip data, this model was fed the same data fields for the Chicago area zips that we collected to generate a predicted target value for all the Chicago area zip codes. And these results were taken as an average over 8 runs of the classification model. And our results are listed below.
So in terms of our results, the random forest classification algorithm selected these 5 factors as the most important in predicting an area's food truck market viability. So the most important factor was a high rate of bike commuters. Was a high rate of bike commuters. Next was a large population aged 25 to 34, so millennials, population and housing density, food traffic, tourism, and commuters, and high education and low poverty rates. So these predictors are consistent with industry reports identifying market trends, and based on these, the model predicted these 4 Chicago zip codes as the best for food trucks: 60604, 60606, 60603, and 60602, which are all loop zip codes. And obviously, as we live in Chicago, we know that the loop has these factors above, like a high rate of bike commuters, a large millennial population, high population, and housing density. And then in terms of our recommendations for further studies, we recommend more specific analysis, collecting data on individual locations within zip codes for more accurate results. More detailed data on actual sales over time would allow for a more robust modeling of food truck market success. And then Blowow Jamaican's food truck our recommendation for the food truck is that they should focus downtown and appeal to 25 to 34-year-old customers, so appeal to that millennial market. They should place their food truck in a place where people walk, bike, and commute to. And we do need more data on spending and tourism in downtown Chicago for some further data.
All right, that was pretty much our project. And we hope that by doing this research, we're able to help Blowow Jamaican Cuisine and also other food truck entrepreneurs in Chicago kind of make more informed decisions about their business and which audiences they should be catering to. Thank you.